Remember, we outlawed after Desert Storm the use of these IPCM munitions. These were little bomblets that looked like baseballs. And children in Iraq would find these on the ground, picked up the ball and throw it. The next thing you knew, it exploded and either killed the child or maimed the child for life. And so we went back and said, no, we're not going to produce these anymore. We're going to outlaw these. And then we discovered we had some of these remaining in the arsenal that had not been destroyed yet, and we shipped them to Ukraine. The Ukrainian leadership, this criminal government, is full of hatred. It hates in the plural, which is the worst kind of hatred. It's bad enough when one person hates another, but hating in the plural leads to disasters like the Holocaust during World War II and innumerable other places. This is
really shone a light on the pedal mines that were being used by Ukraine to attack and kill civilians. They were like these green little like leaf-like pedal mines that would wind up in children's parks where they'd pick them up and they'd have their hands blown off or killed. Hundreds of people killed, civilians targeting this. Well, now here's their new strategy, these new grass mines, which are now meant to look like sort of chunks of grass so that children can pick these up and they'll blow up. So they don't look like pedal mines anymore, but these are the new types of mines that Ukraine is launching into civilian areas in the People's Republic of Donetsk. So while these peace talks are going on in Riyadh, they're rolling out new strategies to target and kill civilians. Are you surprised? Or awareness about this, which is normally America has its B-2 bombers in America. Well, suddenly, over the past couple of days, there's been a huge influx of American bombers appearing in the atoll, the island of Diego Garcia, showing force to Iran, preparing for strikes against Iran. This comes on the heels of this signal leak, of course, that we saw with the attacks on the Houthi rebels in Yemen. So first on Diego Garcia and these bombers, what is your thought here? What are we positioning to do?
Know about this. And unfortunately, today in the world of satellite surveillance, it's very difficult to hide forces on the surface that move around, whether they're surface ships or aircraft or troops. But I am disappointed that this sort of thing is peddled by the media. If I were the Secretary of Defense, I would be furious. You know, this sort of thing should not be common knowledge. Now, what are they going to do? I think it's pretty clear, Clayton. This is all about Iran. You don't need to employ B-2 bombers to strike the Houthis in Yemen, for God's sakes. So this is very, very sophisticated aircraft designed to survive integrated air defenses at 35, 40,000 feet and bomb with precision. There's only one target set out there for which these would be useful to the United States at this point, and that is obviously Iran. Now, you know, I don't support this idea. I think this is a catastrophe. I don't think we should bomb anybody over this business right now. But unfortunately, we're not in charge. And this administration has played its cards and said, you know, we're the Israel First administration and we're going after Iran. So I think it's pretty obvious. Now, is this just a threat? Well, I don't think it's just a threat. I don't think it's a meaningless gesture. You don't move this kind of equipment. And this is the tip of the proverbial iceberg. This is what you see. Beyond that, there's a lot more firepower now that's being assembled in the region.
Now, it would seem that the person who was flying the aircraft was not the same person that was actually deploying the weapons, and that there was authorization to strike a civilian apartment because one of the targets was in it. That's usually not allowed, right? And so you're talking about war crimes in Ukraine, and then we are watching it play out in front of us. There were civilian deaths. Am I reading this correctly?
Natalie, when the election occurred and we got a new set of people, this is a clown show. First of all, these kinds of conversations are